Planning a trip to New York City? Want to know the must-dos and the no-goes? Well, you're in the right place. But before we begin, go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell icon. Today, we're venturing into the heart of the Big Apple, unpacking the essentials of any NYC visit. We'll highlight 10 must-see attractions and activities that capture the city's unique spirit. But it's not just about what to do. We'll also reveal 10 common tourist pitfalls to avoid. So, buckle up as we take you on a virtual tour of the iconic New York City. First, let's dive into the must-dos in the city that never sleeps. Kick off your New York City adventure at Central Park, a sprawling urban oasis that's as serene as it is scenic. With beautiful landscapes, walking trails, and famous landmarks like Bethesda Terrace and Bow Bridge, it's a slice of tranquility in the heart of the concrete jungle. Next on our list is Broadway. Whether you're a theater aficionado or a casual enthusiast, the magic of Broadway is not to be missed. From heart-wrenching dramas to foot-tapping musicals, there's a show for every taste under those dazzling marquee lights. Now, let's talk museums because New York City has some of the best in the world. The Metropolitan Museum of Art and the American Museum of Natural History are just a couple of the city's cultural crown jewels. These institutions house an array of exhibits that span eras, continents, and disciplines, offering a feast for the curious mind. If you want to enjoy New York City from a different perspective, take a stroll along the High Line. This elevated park, built on a retired rail line, offers unique views of the cityscape, peppered with art installations and beautiful gardens. It's the perfect blend of urban and green. And then there's Times Square. Yes, it's busy, yes, it's bright, but the energy and vibrancy of this place, especially at night, is quintessential New York City. It's a sensory overload in the best possible way. For a dose of history and some stunning views, catch a ferry to the Statue of Liberty in Ellis Island. These iconic landmarks tell the story of America's history of immigration and freedom, and they're a must-visit for any New York City trip. Next up, get lost in the city's neighborhoods. Greenwich Village, Soho, Chinatown. Each one is a microcosm teeming with its own unique culture, character, and charm. It's a great way to experience the city beyond the tourist hotspots. The Brooklyn Bridge isn't just a means to get from point A to point B. Walking or biking across this historic bridge offers stunning views of Manhattan and Brooklyn, and it's an experience that's as New York as a hot dog from a street vendor. Speaking of food, let's not forget New York City's culinary scene. From hole-in-the-wall eateries to Michelin-starred restaurants, there's something for every palate. And remember, a trip to New York City isn't complete without trying the city's iconic pizza and bagels. Finally, for an unrivaled view of the city, head to the top of the Rock or the Empire State Building. These observation decks offer a bird's-eye view of the city's skyline that'll leave you speechless, and with some pretty impressive photos. And those were the top 10 must-do activities in New York City. But what about the things to avoid? Stay tuned, because we'll be covering that next. Now, navigating a city as big as New York can be tricky. Here are 10 things you might want to avoid. Firstly, Times Square chain restaurants. While they may be familiar and convenient, they often don't offer the best representation of New York's culinary scene. Venture out and explore local eateries for a more authentic and memorable dining experience. Secondly, rush hour subway rides. New York's subway system is notorious for its peak hour congestion. To avoid being packed like a sardine, try to steer clear of the subway between 8 and 9 in the morning and 5 and 6 in the evening. Thirdly, staying only in Manhattan. While Manhattan is undeniably iconic, don't forget about the city's other boroughs. Brooklyn, Queens, and the Bronx each have their own unique attractions and cultures that are well worth exploring. Fourth on our list, overpaying for taxis. Hailing a cab may seem like the quintessential New York experience, but it can be pricey and slow due to traffic. Instead, consider using the subway or a ride-sharing app. Fifth, ignoring street vendors. Street vendors are a staple of New York City, serving up everything from hot dogs to halal food. Don't write them off. They can offer a quick, tasty, and affordable meal on the go. Sixth, Central Park at night. While Central Park is a must-visit during the day, it's best to avoid it after dark for safety reasons. Stick to exploring this urban oasis in daylight hours. Seventh, rushing your visit. New York is a city that can't be fully experienced in a hurry. Don't overpack your itinerary. Instead, leave some time to explore and enjoy the city at a leisurely pace. Eighth, buying tickets from scalpers. While it may be tempting to snag a last-minute ticket to that Broadway show from a street scalper, it's a risky move. To ensure you're getting genuine tickets, always purchase from official outlets. Ninth, neglecting museum hours. Many museums in New York have specific opening hours, and some even have days they are closed. To avoid disappointment, make sure you check the opening hours before planning your visit. And lastly, ignoring local etiquette. New Yorkers are known for their fast-paced lifestyle, but also their politeness. To fit in, remember to stand to the right on escalators, walk quickly, and avoid stopping in the middle of busy sidewalks. So those are the 10 things to steer clear of in New York City. Remember, it's always about balance. By avoiding these common pitfalls, you can ensure a more enjoyable and authentic experience in the Big Apple. After all, travel is not just about seeing new places, but also about experiencing them. So, go out there and make the most of your New York adventure. New York City, a place where dreams are made, can be a lot to handle. But with these tips, you're ready to take on the Big Apple. We've covered a lot of ground in this guide, so let's quickly recap. On the must-do list, you've got iconic landmarks and experiences that make New York City truly special. The expansive Central Park, the electric Broadway shows, the world-renowned museums, the unique High Line, and of course, the unmissable Times Square. Don't forget the rich history of the Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island, the charm of the city's diverse neighborhoods, the breathtaking views from the Brooklyn Bridge, and the city's vibrant food scene. And to top it all off, get a bird's-eye view of the city from either the top of the Rock or the Empire State Building. On the flip side, there are a few no-goes to remember. Steer clear of Times Square's chain restaurants, rush-hour subway rides, and overpriced taxis. Instead, explore beyond Manhattan, give street vendors a chance, and respect the local etiquette. Be mindful of Central Park after dark, don't rush your visit, avoid scalpers, and always check museum hours before you go. That wraps up our New York City travel guide. We hope you found these tips useful. Safe travels, and remember, the city is yours to explore.